G'day mates, it's your host Mary O'Neill Phillips and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast. I was pregnant, very slow hunting career being pregnant. I literally found out in the fall and then
all the main,
all the stuff, and then like last year was like first year with Molly, so like my whole season was very slow, and so it was kind of like God was just giving me a little here, this one's for you, like this year though. It was like and like my back and everything got so messed up from having Molly. I've had terrible, like I've got bulging so my spine twisted somehow during the pregnancy. My spine is now out, like bent.
I have scoliosis, so I was all jacked up the whole time. I'm still jacked up. It's
the worst, hey. Yeah.
Did you have problems from the epidural?
So, yes. So what happened was I went in for an induction.
Oh,
and
that's the freaking...
Did you get the induced too?
Hell no.
The Pitocin was so bad.
Well, it's so bad. And then I was praying not to have to be induced. And then they were like, okay, well, we don't have any open appointments and you're going to go past your due date. Thank God I did every exercise on the planet, and she came on her due date.
On her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going to have to, but they say it like forces them out, and it just is hell on you and the baby.
So I was at 42 weeks,
Holy
42 and 2 days. And and I wish that I knew what I know now, because I would have pushed it to the very limit and just waited until 42 and 4 or 42 and 5 and done that. But like the hospitals want that money from you.
Well, and they want to get you in and they want to get you out.
And they want you to do an epidural. They want you to do the Pitocin. It's all money in their pocket. It's a money game. And so the Pitocin, the pain that I went through with the Pitocin was so bad. And I think that they know that it's so bad so that you do the epidural, because it said like you can't handle that pain. Like every hair in my body was sticking up. Zach said that like I thought I was going to die from the pain, and I have a very high pain. I've broken 2 arms at the same time. I can handle pain. The epidural.
I was not expecting you to say that at all.
The epidural then failed, but what happened was they put it in, and it's like it numbed me so much that it numbed me up to here, and I started choking. And then they rushed me in for an emergency cesarean. And anyway, my back has never been the same since. And so I had a CT a scan on my back, and my spine should be straight, and it's now bent, and my lower nerves are all being crushed. And they think that so like your body produces that elastin drug when you go into labor, which loosens everything up. And they think that from the Pitocin made my contractions so bad that my spine shifted, and then as it's worn off, it sat in this other position. And so to go on this Elcan, I had to start a round of steroids so that I wasn't in severe pain.
That is...
And you should be able to sue the hospitals for this crap.
You can't.
But it's like my biggest advice to like any new mom is like, if I could do it all over again, Emily Pitney was who I'd spoken to afterwards, because she had a very similar thing. She doesn't have the back issues, but she had the Pitocin and all that. Her third child she did as a water birth with a doula at home, and she said night and day. Like,
yeah,
if I could go back and do that,
mine was fabulous and wonderful. My epidural was great, which I was nervous because I have scoliosis, so I was so nervous it was going to like leak or like go where it wasn't supposed to go, you know? And they didn't have to do Pitocin because I came so fast, and I went in at 4 for around 5, 6 no, I got there about 6 or 7. 6 or 7. Yeah, because I ate dinner before. And I had her at 3 in the morning, and I pushed for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like, I truly think it's what I did to prepare that, because I mean, I'm tiny. I was thinking this was going to be a nightmare. Yeah. I mean, I am so, like, my torso is like this big.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be a fucking nightmare. And it was fantastic. And I think because I was so scared of my spine and the experience, I did so many, like, I feel like, I don't know, I just prepared my hips and I did all these exercises and yoga class things online, and I don't know. I was bouncing on that ball 24/7 but I also am not as busy as you are. So you were probably like,
Well, it wasn't that. It's like, oh, hi guys, it's Country Outdoors. I'm here with
Oh,
Kasey Tyndall.
are we going? Sorry, my bad.
Do you care if that is included?
No, I don't care.
Okay, because it's good conversation to have
Yeah.
in there. Guys, it's Country Outdoors. We are back for another episode. I'm here with Kasey Tyndall. You know, we're both new mums and we're sharing stories. And I think this stuff is like really important to talk about because it's a lot of these conversations aren't spoken about enough. And
Yeah.
I've now that I've had my first child, I've like come to realize how many women have really terrible, especially first births.
Yeah.
And have crazy stories and stuff like that. And like going into what you were saying, like I didn't do the bouncy ball thing. I did do a bit of it, but I was walking
Oh, yeah.
every day, like 5 kilometers up until like a couple of days before giving birth. I was still very active. Like I was trying to do all the exercises
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. I think that it's just like that first, for a lot of women, that first
terrible.
child, because your hips haven't
Yeah.
moved out and everything. Like from what I've heard, the third child, it just falls out pretty much.
Right. Well, and I think too, like, I don't know, I guess I'm pretty lucky that I just researched enough. But I feel like a lot of women don't also know their options with childbirth.
Yeah.
Like, we're not actually, I mean, I did, but we're not supposed to give birth technically on our backs. Like, we're supposed to squat like we're using the
That's
toilet.
why cows go to water, right? Like
I-
cows go to water and stand in the water.
Yeah.
It's a gravity thing.
Well, yeah, the next kid, one day, if the Lord blesses me with another one, I feel like I don't know how. I liked this last experience, but I also know that I feel like I got lucky
Yeah.
with how great it was, and I know that there's some other things that I could do, other places I could go. Like there's definitely some hospitals that are a little more like for the mom.
Yeah.
Like however you want to do it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And they have all the options.
Right. And they have like doctors and stuff available, but like I don't know. I think so. Firstly, I don't know now if I'm able to have a second kid because of the back stuff. Because like that's a big, like for me getting my weight down really quick, like well not really quick, it's been a year and a half, but like keeping my weight down has been a big part of like the back pain
management.
And like I had a very upfront conversation, which is like this is personal stuff, but like I feel like a lot of women probably go through this, like do you think it would be safe for me to have a second kid because I'm worried that my back with that extra weight is going to do even more damage, because essentially the doctor said to me, you're now dealing with this forever, like it's never going to be 100%
Shouldn't
again.
be like that. I could go down a rabbit hole that I won't go down, but it just shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
I'm watching my.
No, you can say, look, when it
I'm
comes to
watching
all
my
this
mouth
stuff,
right now.
even like if you, I say to my friends, if you're not a conspiracy theorist in 2024, then we don't need any be friends.
I know. I'm like my tinfoil is in the drawer, you know,
Yeah.
make my tinfoil hat. But like it's just,
Yeah.
I definitely, when it comes to healthcare, especially women's health, why are we the country with the? Isn't it we're the leading number of like deaths in birth?
Yeah.
Like for the mom, like mom
Yeah.
dies. I don't
Yeah.
know. I can't have good English right now.
I know it's baby brain still.
It's bad.
It's
But that
pretty
should
high.
not be.
No.
We are like, well, yeah, it just shouldn't be.
I
We're
think
an advanced country. I don't understand.
I think
Like,
there's a lot of people that would agree that there is some sort of a rigged system between
Yeah.
the medical, it's a money thing.
100,000%.
It's a money thing, and forcing things on people that are unnecessary.
yeah, like, I mean, all the way, I mean, there's so many things, but like, and we could, I mean, there's enough stuff to talk about it all day, but it really makes me mad. We're mad at the wrong things.
Yeah, we are.
I look at, when you watch the news and you watch everything, I'm like, we're definitely mad at the wrong things.
Yep.
Because this is the silent stuff that is the most important. That's really bad.
That's why it's important
being
though, to like have
choosy.
these conversations. But like, yeah, I mean, I was excited to have you on the podcast, because life changes a lot once you have a kid and all that, and dig more into your story. But also, like, I know you're always somebody who's pretty upfront and says how they feel, and so
Yeah.
But like, let's go back to the beginning. Let's focus on all the good stuff. So you grew up in North Carolina. You've been in town for a long time. We've known each other now for several years.
Yeah.
I think you first played our show during the pandemic. It was you, Megan, Lainey, and Ashland at the listening room, which was a wild thing because there were just like nothing was going on. It was like,
I mean, it was like the tables were very spaced out, and it was mostly online. Like we were playing to people online. Yeah. Wow. It's so funny. It feels like that was yesterday, but also a million years ago.
Yeah, it's like it was such a wild experience. But I know for you, like you'd already been in town, I think by like 6 years by that time. It's been, how long have you been here now? 10 years?
9, almost
9
10.
years.
Yeah.
So North Carolina. So tell us, like, what was life like growing up and all that good stuff?
It was awesome. I mean, really, my world revolved around. I played basketball my whole childhood. Like
You're a short basketball player, Kasey.
I was point guard, so I was the one in the two, of course. But yeah, I played basketball and deer hunted. That's all I did. That was my whole childhood was. And my parents were divorced, and I got really lucky because like my dad and my stepdad both like hunted a lot, and so I was just like every weekend that's what I did.
Way to bond with both of them as well. Yeah,
it was awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I'm pretty plain Jane. Like I don't have like an insane story or anything like that. It's just that was my life growing up.
What was the town like that you grew up in?
So where I grew up, like when I was with my dad, it was just a very small town. Like pretty much my whole family made up the community. It's a little community called Temperance Hall. And then my mom, when we would stay with her, which is where we mainly were, and we went to school there, was Greenville, North Carolina, where East Carolina University is. I feel like I have to say that because I feel like people, their brains automatically go to Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a college town. So I kind of got the best of both worlds, you know. Grew up in a little city and also grew up in the country.
And was all your family like supportive of you when you decided to pack up and move to Nashville?
Yes, surprisingly. So it was super strange. I was actually going to school to be a nurse. Like
Really?
I had just done my 2 years of prerequisites to go to the nursing school at ECU.
What made you want to go into nursing originally?
So my grandfather had French temporal dementia when I was little. Obviously, he passed away. But one of the like home hospice nurses stole one of the last things that my grandfather gave to my grandma, like while he was like in his right mind. And I don't know why that like really pissed me off. She ended up getting caught years later, and which was.
Did they find? No.
She never, you know, it was kind of one of those things. She had parted with it, and it was like, hey, it's okay. Like, this lady got what was coming for her. But it was one of those things where I was like, we need good nurses, you know? And I just that's what I wanted to do. And so I got my nurse aide in high school and started doing that. And then you also got extra points towards the nursing school, like when you applied if you were a nurse aide. So I was nurse aide, was doing that, was doing my prerequisites, but I was also playing music. I loved music. It felt like a far off dream to like actually do this.
Was anyone in your family musical?
No, not a one.
So it was a random thing.
Very random. They can't carry a tune in a bucket, bless their heart. So I was playing music on the side. I was such a dummy. I worked 3 jobs, and when I was going to college, I just felt like I needed to work all the time. And
probably to pay for college.
Well, just to pay for the gas in my truck. Holy crap! Gas was like $4 a gallon then. It's crazy. And so I was singing on the side, but I wasn't chasing it hardcore because I was like, everybody wants to be a big star. I don't even know how to be a big star. It's not like TikTok was around then where you could just go viral on the internet. And if you could, I didn't know how. And so the radio station, the big radio station about an hour away in Raleigh, was holding a contest, and it was the Sing with Keith Urban contest. So I think it was 2013 this happened. This particular tour was when the single with Miranda was out, We Were Us, and he didn't have, there was no females on the tour, so he like held a contest in each area that he was playing to find a female to come sing. And so like my friends made me do it. Everybody's like, you gotta do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna win. And I won. And it was just one thing led to another. Like my first manager I met through that situation, and just one thing after another, and here I am.
Country Outdoors podcast is proudly presented by Nomad Outdoor. Guys, we've worked with Nomad Outdoor since the beginning of Country Outdoors, and there's a reason for that. They have the absolute best hunting apparel in the hunting industry. We have worn their clothing spring. We've worn their clothing in the fall. We've worn their clothing in the summer. We've worn their clothing on the ice. We've worn it everywhere. We absolutely love it. Guys, they're a Southeastern brand. They represent us. They represent sportsmen and women. Whether it's in the field or by the campfire, Nomad Outdoor has something for every occasion. So you'll come on, go check them out. A special thank you to our sponsor, Beauty on Beach, a luxurious vacation home nestled in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee. Whether you're looking for a serene getaway or a chic space to enjoy the vibrant city, Beauty on Beach is the perfect escape. With elegant interiors, modern amenities, and a prime location, it's the unique spot for your next retreat. Ready to book your stay? Visit beautyonbeach.com and experience true luxury today. And so, like, how many years after, like, you do the competition, when do you move to Nashville?
I moved to Nashville in 2015.
Okay. And then you have, like, a couple of things, you signed to a manager.
Yep, signed my first publishing deal shortly after I moved to town. Was touring, like doing, you know, just going all over playing house band sets one night to be able to afford to open for Grange Smith or Kane Brown the next night.
At the time, because like now I think like, and I'm sure still moving to Nashville for like newcomers, it might take a minute to kind of realize the rhythm, but there is a rhythm and kind of a process I think in town now, like for how it works. You move to Nashville, you go to the writers' rounds, you find your people, you write with those people, you lift each other up, like kind of there's a bit of a like method to the madness, it seems, for success now in this town. Do you think it was always like that, or?
I think it's still like that for people that don't necessarily go super viral and blow up. I think, but I say that, but it's also different for everybody.
Totally.
Because when everybody, or not everybody, I don't know why I said everybody, when like young artists will ask me, how does it work? I'm like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I haven't made it. It's just, I think it's, yeah, like you were saying, I mean, the song is king no matter what, whether you write it or not. So getting into that community, into the writing community, networking, all that good stuff, I mean, it's so important and you have to be here. Like, you have to be present to win. And that's the only advice I really can ever give, because it's so different. Like, it takes champions in town. It takes a lot of hard work, and it takes God's timing.
So, have you had any challenges? Like now I would say that like Kasey is Kasey. Like this is who you are unapologetically. In the first like years of you moving here, were there people trying to kind of shape who you were becoming?
Yep. And
like, what did that look like? Because I know you've had like some, experiences and lessons that you've learned in your career that you can speak to yourself, whether or not you want to. But like, what did that look like in the original phases? Because I look at photos of you when you first moved, and like, it's completely different.
Completely different. I think there's a lot of angles to that. Like, I won't get super detailed, but I was young. Yeah. I was 19, and I was definitely one of those that's like, hey, like, I'm a team player. Like, I'll bend a little. I won't break. But I'll bend a little, so if that means I wear this kind of clothes or do this, like, okay. Now that I'm older and I feel way more mature, obviously, I'm like, who was I? But I think we all go through that. Whether you do music or not, you're like, who was that girl?
In my early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
And so I also look back and I'm like, or there's family back home, why haven't you made it yet? Like, this friend has made it, this friend's made it, why haven't you made it? And I'm like, if the Lord gave me the opportunities I'm getting now 7 years ago, I would have ruined them.
Yeah.
I was not mature enough to handle it. Like, I mean, there's so many different reasons. And now, like, everything is right and it's going great and it's the way it was meant to be, and I'm happy, and I don't hold any like, I wish I would have already been famous by now, or I wish I would have made it or had a record deal. It's like, no, everything is going to happen exactly how it's supposed to happen as long as you have faith and just keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
I also hate when people try to compare you to others, because comparison is a thief of joy. And like Larry was just in here, Larry Fleet earlier, and we were talking about like there is enough room for everybody.
100%.
God has made us all very uniquely different. And as soon as you stop comparing yourself to other people and realize what value you have to add, focus, stay in that lane. I cannot stand when people try to compare careers, lives, we all have our own pathway.
1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I love that you're wearing Megan's hat, rocking, supporting
dude.
her.
Hell yeah.
Supporting her today too. But you know, like, do you think that for you as well, like you're a new mom, and you can kind of speak to like your journey of becoming a mom and how that's changed who you are as a person, and then like now your career going forward? Do you think God was like preparing you for this season, and now he's like, now you can go?
1000%. I mean, I literally don't remember who I was before Sterling and Nate.
It's a weird thing, isn't it?
It's so amazing. Like, I feel like I was born again.
Yeah.
And everything is different, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I could go on, but they changed my life, and God knew exactly what he was doing, putting them in my life when he did, and everything's better. The songs, just the overall vibe of, I mean, it was hard for a while. Like, I felt like I was just beating my head on the wall, and it was just felt soul sucking. Mm-hmm. Like, even going on the road, which is my favorite part, like playing shows is my favorite part of all this, and even that felt just soul sucking. Mm-hmm. And then now everything is so whole.
You got purpose.
I have the purpose is there behind everything, and it's been really cool to just kind of zoom out and watch myself. You know, I'm like, wow, we're doing this right. This is great. Yeah. So, yeah, totally.
I love that. So in terms of, your new song, Not As I've Done, came out recently. Do you want to tell us a little bit about
So, for this next record that's going to be coming out next year, you know, obviously I've been planning for it for a while in my brain, and I've put out lots of music over the last 9 years, and I'm like, what is missing? Because I have had great songs, and the connection to like the larger audience that you know when you see an artist like that, when that switch just flips, and you're like, oh, they're connecting, it's working, it's getting bigger. I'm like, how do I flip that switch? Mm-hmm. And I just decided, I was like, this next record, everything on it has to be authentic. And when I say this, like, all my music is obviously authentic. But like, for instance, I'm married with a baby. So this next record, there's not going to be a cheating song on it. And I'll get back to those, because obviously I write songs for other people and, you know, whatever. But I was like, if I can just be as me as possible on this next project, that's how I'm hoping to really connect to people, is that they can really see inside my brain and my life,
connecting with you
through these songs. Yeah, because I'm not a personality. Like, I'm not one of those that gets on social media and can be like, hey, look at my life. Like, I've just, it's so funny when I get behind a camera, I'm like falling apart, like when I like a selfie mode type of thing. And so I'm like, this is how it's gonna happen.
But I also think that's relatable.
Well, right, 100%. But yeah, so these songs are very like raw and real, and so I had in my phone, just do as I say, not as I've done. Mm-hmm. Because obviously there needed to be a song for or about Sterling. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote it with Adam Wood and Justin Richards, and you know, when you get it right, you throw out ideas, you might get on one, but you kind of catch up. The first hour is essentially, how's the kids, how's the family, you know, whatever. And me and Justin, we'd already decided kind of on the song, and we were kind of just talking, and Adam got kind of quiet, so I knew he was thinking. And he was like, I got it. And he's like, the shell don't fall far from the guns. Do as I say, not as I've done. I was like, dude, yes, that's exactly. Yes, let's write from there. And so the song was born, and I knew as soon as I walked out of there, even though it was going to be a while before I went into the studio, I was like, that song is it's gonna be on the record.
So in speaking to that song, like, what is it that you want for Sterling?
I think too, well, I feel like it's for everybody. It's just the typical life lessons that everybody has for their kids.
Yeah.
And it's another reason for this song too is like, you know, you look back on like your early 20s or whatever, and you're like, wow, what was I thinking when I did this or when I dated this person or whatever. And then you have your kid and you're like, oh, I know why I was meant to go through all those things, because I'm going to tell you what not to do. Yeah. And that's essentially just the whole thing. And I'm excited for other moms and dads to connect to the song and be like, haha, yeah. Remember this one time I jumped out of a tree and thought it was a great idea and broke my leg? Yeah, let's not jump out of trees. So it's just
do it and learn it yourself. But
it's like, if I can save you a broke leg, like, you know, let's do that.
Have you had, like, since you've become a mom and started putting out these teasers and all this the new music, have you had like an influx of new fans?
Well, I've had a lot of the same fans, but I feel like I'm connecting deeper.
Yeah.
It's like the moms are like,
oh, I see you now, Kasey.
Yeah, 100%. It's really cool. And yeah, we've had some success with it so far, and it's brought a lot of mamas to the table.
I love that.
Yeah, especially on TikTok. It's fun to see the comments. I feel like people are more honest on TikTok.
Oh, 100. It's also less filtered.
Right. And so there's just like all these people like, yeah, I feel this so hard. Like, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm excited to see where else the song takes us.
I love that. Okay, and so going back to kind of like your outdoor roots and everything, like, you know, the hunting community, like, I feel like even if you're not somebody who's able to hunt all the time, it's kind of a big part of like maybe the core of like values, your value system and who you are. Yeah. Now that you're talking about like having a little girl and all of this, like how do you want her to grow up, and like what kind of value system do you want her to grow up with? Yeah. What does that look like being in a big city like this too? Like,
well, and like I was saying, like before we started filming, actually, I don't know if we actually were filming, but when I growing up, like during deer season, I was hunting every single weekend. Yeah. And I grew up in a hunting club with my stepdad. When it was like my mom's weekend, I would go hunt with my stepdad. And that hunting club is really where I found my relationship with Jesus. Mm-hmm. We would do like Bible study on Friday nights, and then, you know, we'd get out of school, go to the hunt club, eat dinner, Bible study, wake up, run dogs, still hunt, and then do it all again the next weekend.
Who was at the hunt club?
It was just the people that were in it.
Like
kids, lots of kids, families. Yeah, I mean,
that's
it was
awesome.
Like these two brothers ran it, and all their kids.
And everyone would sit around and do Bible study. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yeah, it really was. It was a very. I feel like hunting clubs and just hunting in general gets a bad name. It's just a bunch of rednecks doing bad stuff, and it's like literally these were salt of the earth.
They've shaped me.
They shaped me, and they're my people. And you know, do I wish Sterling could have that, grow up like that? Yes, but since we live so far away and we're in Nashville, like even I don't hunt like I used to because I don't really have a place to go, and I don't really want to do public land. That's just, it scares the crap out of me. Yeah. I don't know who's around. That's just not for me, especially with a kid. But also, like, I'm not rich. I don't have the equipment to. I've had some friends of mine that's like, you can go hunt my property anytime. But if I'm going there by myself, I might can strap something on the deer around my waist and walk out. But like, what am I going to do then? I'm 5'1" and 127 pounds. Like, it's hard for me.
Have you got some goals for like what you guys want to do?
Totally. I mean, obviously, to get a piece of land would be awesome. Yeah. And then just grow from there. I mean, I'd love to eventually maybe start like a little club, kind of like what I grew up in.
The Kasey Tyndall Hunt Club?
Yeah. I love like that. Fun little thing. But that's might be far down the road, or who knows? It might blow up tomorrow and money be raking in and we can do it.
Well, you
So,
never know. You
never
just
know.
got that cut.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
about that.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that going to be on Lainey's next record?
Yeah, it's out. It's on this record.
It's out. Oh, it's out now. That's exciting.
Yep, I'm super
Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I want her to grow up hunting. It taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And just like appreciating, even when you're eating a hamburger, you know what I mean? Like, just the process of harvesting an animal, cleaning the animal. You know what I mean? Like, I was, even as a little girl, it was like, if you're going to kill the animal, you're going to clean it. Daddy's not going to do it for you. You're going to have to learn how to do it. And just appreciate the process and appreciate, like, all the food that we're eating.
Yeah, like food wasn't, or it didn't come from the supermarket.
No.
And like we kind of like, we take it for granted, and these little kids that are now like growing up, they don't know like what we all knew. Do you know what I mean? Like they probably didn't, like, we know people that always hunted, but like they're coming up where everything is fast food and everything's in the supermarket, and it's kind of like a weird thing. Like unless you show them that that's not how it is. Like I can't imagine, like kids growing up in cities have zero idea that you actually hunt for food.
Or people get mad that you hunt, but they eat meat.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you think that animal?
It's just a complete disconnection.
100%. And
it's a weird thing when you think about it.
100%. And the older I've gotten, the more spiritual I am with it too.
Yeah.
Like when I first started hunting, I didn't do this, but if it's an easy shot, like I'm in a tree stand shooting a deer, I'll say a prayer at the bottom of my breath and then shoot the deer. And and just pray for a quick, clean kill. And I'm just understanding that, you know, we're given, this is like the Lord giving us a gift here, and not just not taking it for granted. I think that's so important, and I'll definitely teach Sterling that. I'm excited to get more into it when she's a little bit older with her, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to touch base on like your kind of girl group in town, the evolution of your girl group in town. It's been cool to watch. When I moved to town, one of the first girls that I had met was Randy, and that feels like such a long time ago when she was living in that frat house in Hermitage, and I think Megan had moved to town about a year or two after that, and it's just wild because like everybody's kind of just, it's cool to see the people who have stayed and really like kept the grit, and like I get it. You guys have been here for, I mean, I think you got here 2 years before me. Things that don't happen overnight. Well, some people do. Some people do on TikTok and stuff like that. But like,
kudos to 'em.
Usually overnight success is like 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to see the evolution of like your girl group in particular. You're lucky to have such a tight-knit group of girlfriends that all really champion each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as I've seen, there's no green-eyed monsters, and everybody really rallies behind each other. Zach, myself, and the Country Outdoors family are proud to have Hawk Optics as a sponsor. When it comes to clarity, precision, and overall quality of the product, we have found Hawk Optics to be top of the line and field tested their products year-round and had great success. You can check out this example here on the screen of my recent Colorado elk hunt where I harvest this monster bull elk using the Frontier 30 SF hooked up onto my fix from Q. All right, guys, I have a confession to make. I have a terrible sense of direction, and it's no wonder I haven't got lost in the woods or eaten by a bear at this stage, but there's a reason for that, and it's because I have Onyx Hunt. Onyx Hunt is incredible. It's an incredible mapping feature, and it has helped me navigate my way out of some pretty sketchy areas using the compass feature. I've been able to get back to my truck. I've been able to drop pins and waypoints to be able to coordinate how to get to A to B, to be able to find that turkey that I saw on the road and knock and get permission. Guys, though, if you really want to know who's a fanatic at dropping pins, it's my husband, Zach. If you look in his phone, he has thousands of these pins. If it was the 1920s, he'd be able to trade them and get some money out of them. But Don't take my opinion. Go and download Onyx today and check it out for yourself. Good luck this fall.
Yeah, I mean, we also all of us don't have family here.
Yeah.
And most people here don't have family.
Yeah.
So finding your group of people, I mean, I was super blessed with my friends. They're just as much blood to me as my family is.
Who was your first friend when you came to town, like first true friend?
My first friend was Mandolin.
Yeah.
Monchik.
Yeah.
We moved here kind of together from North Carolina. And then we met Lainey. And then...
and you all were roommates, weren't you?
Mm-hmm, then we all were roommates. And then Mandolin got her own place, and then Ashlyn moved in.
That's right.
But even before we knew Ashlyn, me and Lainey had met Megan her first day that she moved to town. Like, she and one of her bandmates drove here from Canada and was like, okay, well, we're here. So they went to check out a show at Basement East, and we were there. I think it's a showcase. I can't remember. And I had been following her already. It's easy to find your friends that hunt on the internet. Even if you don't meet them, it's like in person, it's a very small community. And so we were already following each other because of that somehow. I don't even remember how.
Yeah.
And so we became good friends. We saw, everybody, Jenna, Farron, everybody, Caroline Munsick. I'm blanking. I'm probably missing somebody. Randy. It's just crazy, and I love it. And those girls are, I think what keeps us all together too is like, we're all hardworking. We're all just, we know the grind. Mm-hmm. We all kind of keep each other grounded and just reminding each other, keep our faith, and it's just awesome.
What was it like when you guys saw Lainey's career take off?
There's no surprise.
No.
It's really because we're all so close, you kind of forget that she's so big.
Right.
I think it the first time it really hit me was when I saw her bar for the first time.
Which was only recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the last year. You're like, oh my gosh, you have a bar?
Yeah. I was like, you have a bar. But
yeah, she's just Lainey to you when you're just still in a track pants and whatever, and
and it's so cool. Because we all just know that we're all destined for greatness, and so when it happens, it's like, well, of course.
Yeah.
It's nothing surprising.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Megan right now she's got her first single at country radio, and
finally,
we're all we know it's going to do good things. We're praying over it, and just. Yeah, it's badass.
That's awesome.
We're so excited for her.
I know, yes.
And then Ashlyn signed a record deal. I just signed a record deal, which I'm super excited about. Jenna's crushing. Farron's crushing. It's so fun.
It's time.
Yeah, it is time. It's time. It feels good.
Yeah. No, I love it. What would you say so far has been one of the hardest lessons or biggest lessons that you've learned?
Kind of what we were talking about earlier, when this business is very soul sucking, and just the nature of the business in general.
Right.
People have to make money off of you.
Right.
And sometimes it's easy to forget that, and you get your feelings hurt. And I have had my feelings hurt having to swallow that business pill, like getting dropped from this or that. It hurts. I think though, is the biggest lesson I've learned is you have to stay true to yourself, and I don't mean I knew I wasn't being true to myself. It's every day reminding yourself of who you are, because it is so easy to take your eye off the ball, and this team member suggests this or that, and then it kind of ebbs and flows. And so if you're able to just really walk that line and stay true to yourself,
have some backbone,
and be keep it, because it's easy to lose it. Even the strongest person is gonna get a piece of that backbone taken.
Yeah. And
so just doing that, holding on to your faith for dear life.
Yeah.
And I think that's just one of the lessons. I don't want to say it, I learned.
That's a good lesson.
Hard, I think it's just in general. It's when you look back, you're like, well, I probably could have saved myself a little heartache here if I would have just said no. Or if I would have said, that maybe we shouldn't take that tour because I'm going to be in a lot of debt, or you know what I mean? Like it's.
Right.
I think also another thing I've learned is like staying on top of your business as an artist. It's really easy to delegate, and you
because
have to.
some people are more like so creatively inclined and not business minded.
Yes, and
that's
I'm not.
challenging.
And I got in a position where I had to learn real quick.
Yeah.
My business, and I was like, okay, from here on.
Well, someone else is dealing with it, and
100%.
that's
Yeah.
scary.
And just the power of the word no. Like
What is
don't
your
have
yes
to
really worth if you never say no?
100%. And because you know, when you're an artist, like everybody, especially as you get bigger and there's more people to pay and more mouths to feed, it's like you have to be good. If you're too tired, you're going to be sick. Well, it's not like a desk job where you can have a cold and sit there and do your work. You physically can't sing, therefore you can't have a concert, therefore nobody makes money. It's like just staying mentally and physically healthy, I think, is something that I've learned. Because I mean, back in the day, I used to just go hard. Now having a baby and a husband, I'll say no real quick.
Yeah.
I protecting your peace is so freaking important.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
holy
think
crap.
it's like, what is a strange thing about that is, because I remember like I used to say yes to everything too, because I felt like if I wasn't there, I'd be missing out on something, and then I'm not going to make that relationship and da-da-da. And I think there is a level of that early in your career where you do have to do that a bit, because but you don't have to be the last person in the bar. And you don't, you know, like you can go from 5 to 7 and then go home.
100%.
And it's kind of learning that, but also like Zach and I have the same conversation a lot now, and like part of that is that you've paid your dues so much, but also it's like it's okay to not be at everything. It's okay to have a bit of a boundary around what you're doing. Say yes to the things that are gonna, and really think about it like, is this going to add value to our family and to our overall brand and to the people that we work with, to our community? And if it's not, maybe not.
Yeah. And before Nate and Sterling, I definitely still had that mentality. It was like, well, I got to go to this and that and this and that, and I'd be so tired all the time. And now it's like, nope, my baby gets up at 6 a.m., this is late. Is this like I literally asked myself, is this going to move the needle?
Yeah.
If it is not, I'm going to spend more time at home in case tomorrow I blow up and I end up on the road more. I want to make sure I'm soaking in all the time that I have right now. Hell, and even then, you know what I mean? It's like the number, and I know you probably feel this way too. Also, after I had Sterling, I don't know how to really say this, but music is, I mean, it's always been my first love. Like, it's what we chase.
Say.
But when you have a baby, it comes second.
Right.
And it's still, you still want it just as bad.
Music,
but it's second, and it takes the pressure off of like.
I think what it is it's like music is your gift from God, and your family is your purpose.
Right.
And the purpose has to come first and the gift second.
1000%. And then because now it's like, if the purpose isn't, you know, like this has to be intact, or I'm not going to write good songs. Yeah. If this is not healthy.
You're not glorifying God if that's not healthy.
100%. And that's kind of where I'm at. And it's been awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is it slogan? I don't know what the word is, but my whatever is quality over quantity. Yeah. And I have seen just a drastic difference in, if we're getting down to it, in numbers and all the things. And that has been so cool to see. Like, I don't go out, I don't network, and I'm getting way more opportunities. Yeah. Way, like like you were saying.
You did pay your dues
early on. I did pay my dues. Yeah.
So it's like, it's the balance, but I think probably the good advice to give is like, for people coming to town, is do it. But like what we said, you don't need to be the last person in the bar, and you certainly don't need to be the last drunkest person in the bar.
Because we've all done that.
I've done it. Trust me, I've had my hot dog alley nights back when Daddy Dog was down there, and you know, I learned my lessons the hard way.
I just had flashbacks.
Yeah, so
That's
bad.
so funny.
The most successful people are the people that are leaving early and probably going home to their families, and they're not in the bar at 1 a.m.
And I think most people learn that lesson the hard way. And and it's so funny too. Like you see the new artist nominations, and people just sitting at home think they're new.
Yeah.
They don't know that they've slept in their fair share of bed bug inns out in the middle of the country, playing to the bartender, killing themselves.
Just the bartender.
Literally just the bartender at a Wild Wings. Ask me how I know.
Oh my gosh, Kylie Fry and I have had this conversation a lot.
Yep. And so it's pretty funny when people are like, "Oh, they just came out of nowhere." It's like, no, they have been here long time. So
it's good stuff.
It is good
I'm
stuff.
happy for you.
Same.
Yeah.
You too.
It's good to see it.
I know this is my favorite version of myself ever, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what does the rest of the year look like for you then?
We are. I mean, I guess I feel like I talk about it, and I'm probably not supposed to talk about it, but I don't know how not to talk about it. But I mean, we're just doing all things next record till the end of the year. I mean, Nashville kind of shuts down in December, and
which thank
Thanksgiving.
the Lord,
I know,
we
it's
actually
so
get to
great.
spend Christmas together.
Dude, it's amazing. And so, we have been so busy gearing up for next year, and getting everything done, all the music videos, all the everything, and it's definitely kept us busy for sure.
It's great.
And then we leave for the Ian Munsick tour this week. Me, Jenna, and Farron. We're kind of doing like a
Is that a lot out
writers
west?
round. Yep, it's all out west.
Cool.
And then I'm hopping on the Ella tour for a weekend, which is
That'll
so
be fun.
It's one of my favorite places in Texas.
I mean, she's a good example of that, like plucking too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, very, very similar. Just
she's
that
been-
one song, just like the recent one with Riley.
Yeah,
just-
but
I know. I mean, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's been busting her ass for years.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. But like, to anybody that wasn't an Ella Langley fan before, they're like, where did this song come? She just blew up overnight.
It's like,
But
no, she's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm excited about that. We're one of my
That'll be
favorite
cool.
places, Helotes, Texas. I hope I'm saying that right. We're going there, and I'm
Cool.
excited to go back.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's really about it. I mean, I just signed a record deal.
Yep.
And I'm so excited about it, and they've been so great, just like hitting the ground running.
Great.
That's it. That's what we're doing.
Well, that's awesome.
Hopefully we get a deer hunt in or two.
Country Outdoors is thrilled to have partnered with Moultrie Mobile. This fall is an extremely busy fall for us. We've just been out in Colorado elk hunting, and now I have my Iowa tag that I drew, and Zach and I both drew Kansas, which means we're going to be scattered all across the country. So we've done the same with our cameras this season. That means we can get the intel in the field when we aren't there. As you guys know, when it comes to those big bucks in Midwest, as soon as they pop out, you want to get out there as quick as you can. And because of Moultrie's crystal clear images and videos and the ability to connect to all 4 US cellular networks, you're never going to have to worry about getting those images and videos when you need them. The app is also loaded with amazing features like weather, mapping, and buck prediction in the game plan feature. Get an edge with the Moultrie Edge 2 series cameras and the Moultrie mobile app. When you think of the biggest hunting shows, the most legendary hunting shows in outdoor television, what channel do you think of? Outdoor Channel. Country Outdoors is very proud of our partnership with Outdoor Channel, which started during the pandemic in 2020 with our turkey tour, and which has now evolved into our popular adventure series 4 years later. We are available on all Outdoor Channel digital outlets, including My Outdoor TV. And guys, they're giving out a free subscription to My Outdoor TV, so go and check it out. Yeah, and look, I know I'm not going to put any pressure on you because I do get it. Like, I've had the conversation with Megan for the last, I feel like I probably text the two of you probably around the same time, like, hey, you want to come on a turkey hunt? Sorry, I can't. It's always like please keep asking though, because it might pop up at some time, but I'm like, I get it.
Every time I have to say no, I'm like, damn it. I'm like,
I think
please remember
you
me.
do. You're like, please keep asking though, but like, I get it. You got to do it.
crazy.
You got to grind while it's there, and then
Totally.
at some stage you'll have the opportunity to.
Yeah. I think for me, it's going to be when I get my own place here.
For sure.
And my husband's a firefighter too, so that schedule is like a little harder to I can't just take off because it's a very consistent schedule. And
which is nice though. Like it's
so
great
nice.
that you're with like a normal dude.
Dude, no kidding. I love it. I love it. So yeah, we'll get some.
That's great.
It'll happen.
That's great.
Well, it's so funny to bring up a whole nother thing. I know we're probably wrapping this up, but the last hunt I was on, I couldn't hunt, and I didn't know it. Remember, it was
Mossy Oak?
We went and played.
Oh yeah, the duck camp thing.
Duck camp. We were playing the show.
Yeah.
It was like me, Langston, Styles,
Megan,
and remember
and
you were like, "You're not hunting, right?" And I'm like, "No, I got all my stuff." And you're like, "No, it would damage the babies here." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, well, I guess I'm not hunting." I had no idea, and that was like so cool to learn. But,
yeah. So for some context on that, I think you were 8 months pregnant, or maybe 7.
7. I was 31.
It was December, wasn't it? Yeah.
30, yeah.
It was December.
It was.
Push it. Yeah. It would have been December because it was, or maybe it was January.
I don't remember. Yeah, but I was
December,
good
January.
I was good and pregnant.
You were very big. You were very big, and I was, I think, 4 months pregnant. But through like our relationship with Tetra Hearing, Dr. Bill has kind of told me a lot about like how dangerous it is essentially to shoot guns around your like growing baby. And I didn't know that until I was pregnant either. But it does. So they suggest that you like essentially don't after like 3 months or something like that. So
and I had done a hunt with Megan like months before that, and probably shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, I think once or twice is probably fine, but like being in a duck blind with like 10 dudes shooting.
That's what it was, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was so glad when they did the hearing test, and it was great. I was like, thank God.
Really,
I was like, I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably playing all those shows, and the kick drum right behind me was probably not good either.
Well, that's the thing too, and it's like, when you take Sterling, you obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, she has the cutest little earmuffs.
That's so cute.
The first set she would not keep on, the kind when they're really little with the strap.
Oh my gosh, Molly hated that one too.
She was so over it, but the one that is the kind of like one we would wear. Yeah. She's fine with that one. But she's she loves music, to it. So she's cool with it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we're gonna play a little game before we wrap up.
Oh,
okay.
Lord.
This is a rock paper scissors shoot. And
sorry,
if you lose, you have to. Let me make sure this is folded up. If you lose, you have to answer the question. Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're legit playing rock, paper, scissors. Okay. And it's on shoot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh!
You lost.
I think I'm grabbing one. Most embarrassing moment in the woods or career. Oh, I'll do the one in the woods. This is my favorite, and I know you've probably heard it a million times, but me and Megan went down to the Mossy Oak, camp.
Yep.
And we were doing the sticks and strings. And I'm like, I'm a great hunter, right? Like, I've done it my whole life. Like, I know what I'm doing. I've bow hunted, all the things. But what I've never done is bow hunted out of one of those, gajillion foot tall bow stands. I've never done it. And the stands were there was one or two. Well, the first hunt was great. It was in a little rifle stand.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up bow hunting out of.
Yeah.
And so it was like.
So you've got your little safety net.
Well, and it's just, it was easy to get into.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then we go to this. They put me in a honey hole.
Yeah.
And I physically could not get from the ladder to the platform. I physically could not. I was so embarrassed. And we had to get down and get out. Then we went to another one, could barely get in that one, but got in it. Oh, that was my most embarrassing moment. And then they showed me the deer that walked by the next night. Or no, sorry. They showed me the deer that walked by right after we walked out of there. Then Megan went in the next night. Monster buck. And it was just too far for her. But anyway, she was like, she made me feel better because she was like, I could barely get in that stand too, and she's like taller than me.
I've had that happen though.
But they gave me so much hell.
No, look, honestly, it's every season. There's at least like one stand that I try and get into, especially if we've like hunted at like an outfitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Men just don't get it. Like they aren't hanging, men, you're not hanging those ladders for us girls. Like I remember we hunted at this spot in Kansas and the outfitter was like 6'6". And so all of the ladders he's hanging like the seat on the other side of the tree and then like the ladder like ending
yeah,
here.
that was how this one
and it was like I've had some sketchy moments where I've been hanging out of a tree too, and I'm like, thank goodness I have my lifeline right now, because like trying to get into this thing is,
well, so that one you had to unclip from the lifeline
and try and
and it was like, and also I've never had to use a lifeline. That was the first time I'd used one of those.
Well, Kasey, you should have been using one your whole life.
Because the stands that were just these like really safe little rifle stands that were just easy to just climb right up into and sit down and I would hook my harness on and have a little safety rails.
Hunter safety would be telling you you should be wearing one anyway.
Oh yeah, 1000%. And kids, don't try that at home. But it was just so funny because I just was like, I was not big mighty hunter then, let me tell you. No. I was like, oh my gosh, it was just.
They're probably laughing.
Oh, they were, and we still joke about it. I mean, it's just so funny.
Short girl problems.
Oh right. But it was such a cool experience. It was still one of my favorite, even though we didn't kill a deer. It was just.
It's a cool camp.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's
really
beautiful.
Awesome. I love those people.
Me too.
They're like lifelong friends.
Yep.
For sure.
Well, let's do another one.
Okay.
We've got 4 in here. Okay, wait, hold on.
Oh.
You got to play the game, lady.
Are you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Dang, got me again. I was like, she won't do the same one again.
If you ever play against Larry Fleet, all he does is rock.
Oh, okay, that's good enough. You only do scissors. I'm just kidding. Who is your arch nemesis? A wasp.
A wasp.
Fun fact about me. And when everyone asks me what's a fun fact about you, I always forget this. It's not even fun. It's terrible, actually. I am, it's like a...
Fear? Like a phobia?
It's a phobia, I think. Because when I see a wasp, I get cold sweats. If I could high five a bumblebee, but a wasp, I literally don't know what it is. I see one and I just melt down. Like when I was growing up, during bow season, obviously it's still really hot. Wasps are everywhere. If one was flying around me, I don't care if there was deer in the field, I was climbing down.
How far, like how close, like if one was here?
Like if I saw one in the corner, I'd have to go in the other room.
Oh boy.
Bad.
That's a bad phobia.
Oh yeah, my father-in-law last night, Nate was on shift and he had heard me say something about like I knew there was this wasp nest by the front door, but it was inside the siding of the house or whatever. He like took care of them. There was like 20 came out of this siding piece. I was just full meltdown watching him. Like
that's a thing.
It's a thing. It's bad for me.
Phobias are weird though. Like I have my flying anxiety has gotten really bad.
Mine after having Sterling.
Same with Molly.
Is so bad. I have to go to the bar before I get on the plane.
No, and I said that to Zach yesterday. So like because I fly in from, it's a little regional airport, tiny little plane. My flying anxiety, I have to have like, no, it's bad. And it's worse since having Molly.
It's, and I don't know why that is after having a kid, but
especially flying without them.
I have just about
or with them.
Just an actual panic
Me
attack.
too.
Like I start sweating. I literally have to go to the bar and like take a shot.
No, that's the same.
I'm like, I literally can't get on this plane
like,
without it, and it's terrible.
And like when you're flying, just hearing everything changing and whatever. What is it? It's a phobia. It's a real thing. I'm going to look into it. If you know anything about it, people, please let us know if you're a mom and you experience the same thing. It's bad.
Well, and I'm not one of the, some people, well, we fly too much to do this, but I know some people that don't fly a lot, if they have that fear, they can just go to the doctor and get like something to help them relax. I don't like that stuff.
No.
So like if it's an early morning flight and like probably not acceptable to go have a drink at the bar at 5 a.m.
No.
I literally will like sit on the plane and shake.
No. Yesterday flying into Nashville, the people next to me must have been like, this girl's insane. I was like this.
If there's like major turbulence, when the wheels come out, oh my God, if I'm sitting in the middle, it like drink, and I'm like, like I hate it, especially with things going on in the world right now.
When they do like the real, like they have to like, no. I know. Okay, glad. Okay, cool. Let's go again. Next time I take a big flight, I'm going to be like, Kasey,
call me. All right, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ha!
Finally. I'm going to put this back because I did this on the last one and it's probably
the same answer.
Do I have another one? No, that's probably, I've done it. It'll be the same answer. Can only hunt one animal the rest of your life. What would it be? Turkey.
I'm deer.
Mine would be turkey just because I really like this. I just love hunting. I love calling a turkey. I love them coming in. I love them being like that close up to me, but I also like that it's like warm after a cold winter. Like it's like the start of spring, just like it's life is like reborn again. And I like the socialness of having like somebody with me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes at the end of it, I love deer hunting, but like it can get really long and slow at the end of a season when you're like cold in a tree stand and you're by yourself and whatever. And spring, it's like, and I'm like such a big like NWTF convention and like all the things. So I would say turkey.
I feel that.
Yep. Okay, one more for you then, girl. That's what it is. Most embarrassing.
Something. Let's see.
Most disgusting habit, I think.
Most disgusting habit. Okay, I gotta think about this one. What's my most disgusting habit? Can't say it on camera. What's another one? Most disgusting habit. Other than the one I shouldn't say on camera, I have this like, no, I can't. That's not my.
What is it, like farting under the blanket or something?
No, that's not it, but that does happen. Let's see. Oh my God. Oh, I'm one of those that will like leave a coffee cup in the car for a week and like then stuff starts growing on it.
That's not that bad. I mean, gosh, once you've got a baby and you accidentally leave a bottle in the car and
that's like, but it's easy for me to just grab this and take it inside, and I just don't. I just leave. It's like a really bad habit, and like my car is just like disgusting, and that's just, I hate that, but I'm working on it. I actually went and like deep cleaned my car for my mother-in-law because she's here.
You don't dip, so it's not as bad.
No, I don't dip, but yeah, I think that's my most.
That was pretty PG, but I'll accept
yeah,
it.
I'm also pretty boring. Like,
I don't know about that.
Right now, I'm just pretty boring. Yeah.
You do it like bite your toenails with your mouth?
Nope, I can pick up a pencil with my toe.
Well, that's a cool
I can pick stuff up and throw it. Like, I can pick stuff up and throw it with my toes.
Into your mouth?
No, I can't do that. But I haven't tried. Yeah. And I kind of want to now.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. I'm so
me.
excited for you for the new record, and it's great watching everything that's going on. So
thanks for having me.
I'm wishing you all the success.
Thank you.
Can't wait
Same.
to see. Yeah, thank you, Kasey.